If your business isn't doing well, do you mind if we have an uncomfortable chat? I wanted to share a few areas where you could review immediately to help, but it can be a little bit tough to hear. As a business accountant, I've spent the last 18 years helping small business owners with these issues, and there's some super common themes, and it normally starts with the owner feeling really down. They're saying, look, and I've been there myself as a business owner, you're frustrated, you think you're working hard, you're not seeing the reward, you're not getting the money you think you're meant to be getting, all those kind of things. And the business just doesn't seem easy, right? It's that feeling of like, why can't it be easy? Why can't I find the right people? Whatever the case may be. I mean, if you listen to owners and talk to them every day like I do, you hear these common themes. But the one thing that's really tough when you're feeling these things, I think, is you've got to look at yourself and ask the question, are you the problem? And I've been there myself. I know how difficult this one can be because you're like, look, I'm working hard. And I'm sure you're absolutely working hard. I know you are, but there's a couple of things I want you to ask yourself with a real critical lens on. And the first one's to look and say, look, how much money are I drawing from the business? Is it realistic given the amount of money we're making? Do I even know what we're making on paper? Can it afford my wages? And particularly if you've grown and you've employed a team, we see this so commonly. Someone will take 1-2 employees and then suddenly their wages for the bit they're doing, where they're not necessarily producing all the time, something that can be sold. Maybe they're doing more admin or more marketing or something slightly less tangible, and the business just can't support it. So you've kind of got to look at it and say, would I actually employ someone to do the job I'm doing now? If not, how can I start generating in the short term? And look at that. Well, sometimes the sad news is you're going to have to cut your own pay. Don't worry. The whole idea is though that you're going to be able to increase it later. Short-term pain, long-term gain. And then the second one, unfortunately, is how many holidays are you taking? And I'm not trying to create hustle culture. For sure, work-life balance is important for the people that want that. It's just a case of what we see quite often is business owners struggling, and then I'll hear they've shut the shop for a week to go on holiday. And it's like, we're struggling, we're struggling, and we're shutting the shop. And maybe we don't pay our suppliers, or maybe we can't pay the team what we want them to pay, or whatever the case may be. And then we're having every weekend off, and we're having, a few weeks holiday a year. The physical store is being shut for a week. We can't sell anything. Those kind of things, if that's you, again, I'm not saying it can't be done if you've got a successful business. Absolutely, that could be a goal of yours. But how many days am I open? How many days am I having off? Am I having both weekend days off? Do I really need both weekend days off? Short term, maybe not. And you can look at it a couple of ways. It's not your fault necessarily that the business is underperforming, but it is your responsibility to fix it. And then let's create success so that in the future we can have these breaks and we can have these holidays and everything's cool and running without you. Now, if you're thinking, Dan, that's great, I understand what you're saying, but honestly, I'm doing all those things and it's not making any difference, and let's move down the list. There's absolutely things to do, particularly where I come from, where numbers, where you can improve that business. But look at those two things first, because honestly, a lot of problems are solved in the short term by altering the balance of those two things. You can do it.